of Saraya versus Britt Baker, and they put in way more time than I thought they were going to, given this was their first match back. I guess they had to because it was,
Well, they wanted to do a classic match to get Saraya over, and to prove, that she can go and everything like that. And they did all kinds of near falls. But it felt like they went too long to me for what the crowd wanted, because they were doing like big near falls at the end, and the crowd wasn't popping for them. And I mean, the crowd, it's going to be tough for her. The crowd was very, very respectful for her. I thought the match was fine, but it was, I don't know. Don't want to say anything bad. She hasn't wrestled in 5 years.
For not wrestling in 5 years, I mean, you could tell that she hadn't been in the ring for 5 years. But given that, I thought that they did a good job. I thought the match ended up being better than I expected it to be, given how long she'd been gone. And not only being gone a long time, but, if she had only recently been cleared, I mean, honestly, how often do you think she'd been in the ring over the last 5 years? If she had in her mind that she probably was never going to be able to wrestle again.
I mean, she might have done cardio in the ring, but I wonder how many bumps she even took.
Exactly. Running the ropes, taking bumps, doing spots, doing any of that.
She may have run the ropes, but she may have done. I'm sure she did some training to get in ring shape. But it was interesting watching it because, I mean, it felt like it absolutely felt like somebody's first match in a long time.
Yes.
In the sense there was a certain tentativeness that I felt when maybe it was me as a spectator, but when she would take a bump where you just like, is the body going to hold up type of a thing. I mean, it's like she was fine, but I think the match should have been shorter and a little bit more explosive. But I understood they were really trying to make it this classic, lots of near falls and everything like that. But I don't think that they hit. I don't think they hit the classic that they were expecting to. And she wanted to. And like she said, the microscope was on her, and it was on her, and it's like she wasn't bad, but it wasn't. I couldn't go in there and say like, oh my God, what an incredible performance!
This was not like an all-time classic match or anything like that. But
I think they wanted to. I mean, you could see from the layout that they did all kinds of near falls.
Well, of course, they wanted to have a really good match, but at the same time, it's her first match back, and I think that it did go long. I think that, Saraya probably got a little bit tired there near the end. I think that the crowd was, it felt to me like, and I felt like this watching it.
We're all trying to be very nice about this match because it's their first match back in 5 years.
No, this is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is...
and that's a very legit, like you said,
that's not what I'm saying.
Excuse.
What I'm saying is, when I watched the match, the entire match, there was a sense of, oh my God, I hope she doesn't get hurt. And I think that the fans also kind of felt the same way. And I know that they weren't going to do this, and they wouldn't do this, but I thought they should have done what they would have done in Japan, which is she loses.
Just beat her?
She's not ready yet. She can have as good a performance as she can have, but she falters here or whatever, she gets beaten. And then the crowd really gets behind her as she works her way back. And then whether it's 6 months from now or whatever, she has her second match with Britt. Now you try to do a classic. She's not rusty, presumably, and she gets her big win then. It felt to me like this was not the finish to do on this particular day. But given you have Saraya and it's her first match, I knew they weren't going to do that. But I feel that's what would have been a better finish to this match.
But they sort of did that with the Young Bucks. They sort of did that with the Young Bucks, although they're going to do so many rematches.
Well, yeah, but the Young Bucks was a different thing. It wasn't that they were rusty.
Best of seven, if you find out they're doing the best of seven, you probably would have put, Death Triangle over first. But I expected Saraya to win because it's her first time in, and but you're probably right. I think that your scenario was probably a better one, but this was, again, it was what I expected that they would do, and they did more than I expected that they would do. But it's that's the only thing is they could do that, and then her rustiness works in the storyline
in her favor.
The fact that she won, it's kind of like she won but didn't look great, as opposed to she's rusty and she gave it her all and she did more than you expect and she came up short, and you go in there with the idea that, like, hey, I hadn't wrestled in 5 years. And there's a good thing too, because then it's like the person from the other company who's off for 5 years hasn't beat your top star in her first match back.
Yes.
But the rule of thumb is, in general, is if you bring in someone from WWE, you don't beat them the first time in either. So that's, whatever. The match happened. It was there. It was not a great match, but it was, for being off 5 years with a serious neck injury and everything like that, she was fine.
And we had Samoa Joe, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Wardlow.